see if we. I might like try and relabel that stream. Dan Moraine has the worst takes. I'll put a picture of Dan Moraine up there. All right, so hopefully the lag is chilled out by now. Sorry, lag spike. YouTube shut us down because we were spitting fire. So I guess this is a new stream. That's happened the past couple of streams. So I might just make a new thumbnail for the last stream for the people watching it back. I'll put like Dan Moraine in it, and I'll say Dan Moraine takes suck or something. I don't know. But we're probably only gonna be live for another 20 minutes. What were we on? What were we talking about right before we lagged out? Chat, Eric. Does anybody remember?
I was saying how Stotts makes, or he just says there's nothing he can do instead of like actually having the good take of, oh, you know what? If teams double team him, I'm going to make him pay, but he doesn't do that.
I mean, like, bro, like there's so many ways. You know what I mean? Like, I can come up with so many different ways that would be better than what we do. I haven't brought out the clipboard in a while. Let's just illustrate one, since we actually explain what we're talking about. Let's just illustrate one way. One way to beat it, right? If you get Dame getting trapped at half court, you can run pick and roll at half court and let Dame get trapped if it's like designed to like exploit it, get the ball out of the trap and exploit it. So like, here's the thing. You have Nurkic setting the screen. Have like CJ down here. It's coming. Right? Have CJ down here. This is how the floor will be guarded. All right? Red is offense, red is us. You have the screen here from Nurkic on the point guard. Dame dribbling off. Dame has the ball. This center is going to come up and trap. Right? While that's happening, have Harkless set a down screen for CJ to sprint up the floor to about here. Right? They might switch, they might not. Either way, CJ should be open, all right? You get the ball out of the trap. You have CJ coming up. This is at the same time. So you have CJ coming up the floor when Dame is coming off the screen right before they trap. You have Dame get rid of the ball, okay? While it's happening, you have Nurkic slipping out, okay? So CJ gets the ball here. Now he can pass it to Nurkic on the run, all right? On the run here. Nurkic down the lane, it creates this situation. Either this guy can stay home here, and the small forward can go here, and Nurkic can kick it to the small forward. If the small forward stays out there, then this shooting guard is in a 1-on-2. And Nurkic is a good playmaker. Nurkic coming down the lane with a power forward like a Zach Collins, right? This could be, if they didn't switch, this would be the power forward. Yeah, but like basically it's just a 2-on-1. It's just a 2-on-1. So it's either a lob to Collins, dunk, or this power forward doesn't come over and Nurkic already has momentum built up and Nurkic goes and finishes at the rim. That's how you exploit a trap. Easy, simple way. Like, there's multiple ways to exploit the trap, You have this down screen from this power forward in order to get CJ open, because if CJ is already up here and Dame's getting trapped, then you might have CJ being denied so Dame doesn't have an outlet out. This is what happens. Dame will get trapped and Nurkic will roll and Dame will get trapped, but like Dame can't pass Nurkic the ball. And the other three guys are guarded, so Nurkic doesn't have a pass out of the trap. This is what I mean by he doesn't have an outlet out of the trap. But somehow, this guy not shooting well enough from three when he shot 43% is the reason. No. So you just have. It's like this is simple stuff too. You just sure.
Instead, what we do is have CJ at like half court, and then Dame goes forward and then passes back or across court to CJ, and then both the center and the point guard have time to recover fully to their man.
Yeah, we'll like do it over here and have CJ all the way up here, and this is like a setup that we use a lot, right? Nurkic will screen and then roll. This guy will help down onto Nurkic. So like Dame struggles to even get this ball to Nurkic because of where the trap is. But even if he does, you have Nurkic 30 feet away from the rim against a shooting guard with like the only passing option being back out to CJ while this guy's rotating down and the shooting guard's here. Like, it doesn't even make sense to even pass it to Nurkic in that situation, and usually Dame can't even do it. So Dame has to skip it across to CJ while the ball is in the air because this is a long pass. This is like the ball's in the air for like at least a second. This shooting guard's just running here, and the center's running back here. Okay, CJ gets the ball. We're not in a set. Okay, well, guess we got to go one-on-one right here. Or maybe we'll run a pick and roll, and that's what our offense is against the trap. That's why we always struggle in the playoffs. Instead, literally, just something very... And it's just mind-boggling to me that Sauce doesn't, like, come up with this stuff, man. Literally, very simple thing to do. Very simple thing to do. Okay, let Dame run off the trap. While Dame's running off the trap, set a down screen. CJ comes up. The shooting guard's trailing him. He gets the ball. While the ball's being passed and the trap's going up to Dame, you have Nurkic slipping out the pass. Now CJ has a passing angle to Nurkic. Nurkic coming down the lane. Oh, now you're in a 2v1. If this guy helps, you're in a 3v2. If this guy helps, kick there. If he doesn't, 2v1, make the right play in this 2v1. Or maybe the shooting guard comes back down, CJ steps up. This all would be able to happen before these guys are able to get back in the play. It's a 4-on-3. Right? Just make the right play. And it's set up in a way where Dame can quickly get the ball out of the trap, because that's a big thing. You got to be able to quickly get the ball out of the trap. Quick pass, direct pass to CJ in a spot where CJ can, like, attack, you know? Like, this shooting guard has to guard him here. If CJ's up here as the outlet, then this power forward can go here and this shooting guard can hang down here, right? And then that gives the center time to run back while CJ's dribbling up. The center has time to run back to the center. Power forward has time to get back there. CJ's defender has time to get back to CJ. And you're not in a 4v3 anymore. So that's the thing. Like, there's ways to exploit the trap that Terry Stotts doesn't do, and it just boggles my mind. It's why I don't think he's a good offensive coach, because it's very basic stuff. And other teams do this type of thing. That type of set that I illustrated, I've seen teams do that specific thing. It's called changing the angle in order to hit a roll man, right? Like, changing the angle is an important thing, and a term you should know if you've played high school basketball. Changing the angle in order to create a passing window to Nurkic rumbling down the lane in order to create a 2-on-1 scenario. That's like stuff that you would potentially do in high school or college, you know what I mean? And it's just like the fact that they don't do it in the NBA and you have people paid to cover the team and they just excuse that, it's funny to me and it's mind-boggling.
And as that guy who loves b-ball says, you can alternate between doing stuff like that and playing Dame off-ball too.
Exactly.
And then the other team doesn't know where Dame's going to be dribbling up. But instead, every single possession, they know exactly where Dame is going to dribble to, exactly what we're going to do, and it's so easy to stop and take Dame completely out of playoff games. And then you have to listen to all these stupid casuals saying, oh, Dame disappears in the playoffs, he sucks. Because his coach doesn't know how to get him the ball like Steph Curry does, like his coach does. Exactly.
That's the thing. We'd be a lot harder to guard if we used Dame off the ball. And it's not like we don't have a big man that can pass. Nurkic can pass the ball. You know? Like, Nurkic can utilize Nurkic's playmaking more and utilize Dame off the ball more, right? Dame's gravity could create cutting lanes for guys that aren't that good offensively. You know, you could get Harkless open on a cut because people are paying too much attention to Dame running off a Harkless screen, and Harkless could get a dunk at the rim. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing is like, oh, well, they can't shoot well enough. You don't need them to be able to be three-point snipers. You don't need 4 3-point snipers next to your center in order to, like, run an offense in the playoffs. You know, like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, Draymond Green isn't a good three-point shooter. Andrew Bogut wasn't a good three-point shooter, yet they ran a beautiful offense. People are like, oh, that's because Draymond can pass. The thing is, like, I rarely see Draymond make a pass that Nurkic couldn't make. You know, Draymond can dribble a little bit better and bring the ball up the floor, but, like, you don't need Nurkic to bring up the ball in order to utilize him as a passer in the half court. You know? So that's the thing. It's like we could run that type of offense and utilize Nurkic's passing more and utilize Dame more off the ball, making it harder to guard, making it so he doesn't have to deal with a trap every time down the floor. And then we could also, okay, set it up where Dame gets trapped, but we set up the 4 guys behind that in a way where we can exploit that trap. Like, we would have had so much more playoff success, and we would potentially be able to compete against a legit contender if we did those things. But we don't. So it's extremely frustrating.
Yep. And we always say you can be bailed out by a player getting hot like a CJ in a game 7. I mean, you can win games playing like that. It's just not, you're not going to beat when you get into the like second, third final Western Conference Finals, that kind of stuff. Like, you're not going to beat those kind of teams doing that consistently. We might steal a game here or there, but you're not going to win 4 out of 7 games against a team like the Lakers or the Clippers or the Warriors when you're playing that kind of offense.
And that's why we can beat a team like the Denver Nuggets in their first playoff series for like basically their entire team. We can beat a team like that, but then we get swept by a Kevin Durant-less Golden State Warriors team. You know what I mean?
That offense couldn't even do anything against the Pelicans. Like,
yeah,
how are we supposed to beat like a good defense? You know?
And that's the thing. Like, I illustrated it where like, okay, they set up the floor where Dame gets trapped over here and can't get the ball to Nurkic, and like CJ's at half court and he just skips it across to CJ, skips it across while that's happening. The center's going down, the set shooting guard's over here, and we end up in a position where we're not even in a play. CJ has the ball at half court with like 10 on the shot clock and nothing's happening. Doesn't mean we can't score. You know, CJ will go one-on-one, and if CJ's hot, he might be able to score at will off this. But that's not good coaching. That's absolutely not good coaching, because you're literally basically having to resort to this as a last option without having a chance of getting anything else going. We should be like trying to exploit the trap in a way where we could, like that play I showed earlier with the pin down from the power forward to CJ, Dame passing it to CJ, right? And Nurkic rumbling down the lane, and CJ can pass it because he has a passing window. Set it up like that, where like, okay, we have a chance to get a dunk off the trap at half court. And then if you don't do it, then okay, CJ might have to go one-on-one, but at least you give yourself a chance to get a good shot out of the trap. That's good coaching. Setting it up where you have no chance to get a good shot out of the trap and having to have CJ go one-on-one without a chance at anything else, that's bad coaching. There's a difference to that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to like help some people understand that, but like that's how I view it, you know?
Yep. And how many times have you said this too? CJ can get that shot anytime. Like, I'm totally cool. Run some offense. See if you can get a backdoor cut for a lay-in or a dunk. If it's not there, then give it to CJ. And with like 8 seconds left on the shot clock, and be like, oh, now we try to get Law and Order's victim unit going and try to break someone down and make a shot out of nothing. But like, you don't have to do that as your normal offense. There's no excuse for not trying a normal set offense first, and then being like, okay, this isn't working, give the ball, this is your ISO time. Or post up Melo with like 8 seconds left on the shot clock and let him back someone down and shoot a mid-range jumper because we tried other things first. That's acceptable and good basketball.
Yeah.
But like, doing that as your main offense is like the most basic form of offense possible, and it just doesn't make sense how he continually gets away with it and people make excuses for this guy.
And you can't tell me that somebody is a great offensive coach if his primary offense is isolation pick and roll. Because, bro, I could go out there and say, hey, guys, just go one-on-one and, try and run pick and roll a little bit, right? Yeah, they do the same exact things they do now. You know what I mean? Like, sure, they might not run around in circles and have fancy movement above the three-point arc, but the end result would still be the same, because that stuff doesn't even like get anything going. It usually just results in somebody has the ball and will go one-on-one, or they'll run pick and roll. So like, that's the thing, is like, I can go out there with 4 random people that know a little bit about basketball. Me, Eric, and 3 people from the community that know about basketball that we've never played together, and we can go out there and play pickup ball against some guys and go one-on-one and run some pick and roll. You know what I mean? So from an NBA offense, from a supposedly great offensive coach to that's their offense, it just is. It doesn't make sense to me. He's not a great offensive coach. You can't be a great offensive coach and be in like the bottom, sometimes last in the league year in, year out in assists. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't be a great offensive coach and have 0 ball movement. It doesn't make sense, man. That whole opinion, it doesn't make sense to me. And when people try and explain it, it's just like, it never ever makes sense. It makes less sense when people try and explain it.
Yeah, exactly.
Offensive genius, man. It's so genius running pick and roll and isolation all the time. I don't understand. Anyway, we'll take your questions for about 5 minutes.
Let's talk about some draft stuff because people have been asking questions about the draft. So Kyle Wilson asked if I think we'll take Sadiq or a wing. Like I kind of hope we take a wing, but knowing Olshey, I think he'll take whoever he thinks is going to be the best player. And I know people are going to kill him if he takes a guard, but if he thinks the guard is the best player, I mean, I think if you believe in your abilities to evaluate talent, you just take the best player that you think is available. And last year he had kind of a no-brainer with Little, I think, at that pick. That was pretty obvious he was the best player on the board. Simons, he projects him as the best player at that range. He still is young. He could not be anything close to that. But, if you're talking about non-lottery picks, I think you just take the best player and hope that he develops, and then you have trade asset, or you have the ability to trade some of the people in front of him in the lineup. And but I hope a position of need is the best player available. That's always nice when it works out that way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're gonna be covering the draft like crazy. So I'll take a few questions, but probably gonna log off here in like 5 minutes. There's some questions in the mailbag that'll be uploaded probably in like the middle of the night tonight. That's probably when I'll be able to get it out. I've already recorded it, but there was like draft questions on Jane McDaniels, on trading up for Okoro, on Sadiq Bey and Aaron Neesmith were mentioned. I think there's somebody else that I'm missing that was mentioned.
I don't know how reliable this is, the source is, but I read something on Twitter today saying that Okoro got a promise from the Cavs at 5, and he stopped working out for any teams below 5.
Oh, that'd be such a Cleveland pick, man. Bro, they're screwed, man. Like Garland,
people are saying he might still go higher than that, but yeah.
Bro, like, me and Eric have already recorded the draft profile, like our part of it. So like I've already done the graphics too, so I just got to do the intro and edit the part that we've recorded to get that out. But like, bro, like, dude can't shoot at all. Like, yeah, he's a good defender, but he literally can't shoot, and I don't think he'll ever be able to shoot. You see guys come in the league with, like, absolutely broken jumpers and don't turn into shooters, and I think he's going to be one of those guys. Offensively, he's literally going to be a guy that's, like, kills your offense. Can't space the floor. He's a small forward, too. Can't space the floor as a small forward, right? So if you have a center that can't shoot, too, you got two guys out there that literally can't shoot threes, can't space the floor. Like, how does that work with your backcourt, which is two undersized guards that, like, need space to create shots for themselves and others? You got Garland and Sexton. That's, like, their backcourt of the future, right? Like, you need space to give them space to be able to slash, to be able to create, because that's their offense of the future, supposedly. Like, we wouldn't want a non-shooter. We would want MKG playing next to Damon CJ, and we wouldn't want, like, Andre Drummond in that lineup as well. Like, it would completely hurt what Damon CJ could do for us. So, like, Okoro doesn't make sense for them in that regard, because, like, defensively he makes sense because they need a good defender at small forward because that backcourt isn't good defensively. But they need, like, a 3-and-D guy, just like we do. They need a 3-and-D guy. Okoro can't shoot for shit, bro. He is a horrible three-point shooter. Terrible. And I don't think he'll ever be good. That's why I don't have him high on my board. That's why I wouldn't trade up for him. I said that in this mailbag that I just recorded. Like, I wouldn't trade up for him. I honestly, like, where did I have him on my big board? I think I have him 16th, maybe 17th on my big board. Spoiler alert for the draft profile. I have him, like, that low on my big board because I don't think he'll ever be able to shoot. And I'd rather have a guy that can defend almost as well as Okoro and doesn't kill your offense and is able to shoot threes. I'd rather have a Patrick Williams. I'd rather have a Sadiq Bey. I'd rather have a Neesmith.